So once again, we have the root function. Okay, again, we're just considering from 0 to 1. Okay, 0 to 1. And this time we're rotating about y is equal to -1. So that's about there, -1. And that line is like this, right? So if you rotate it about, so it's only this area right here, okay? Because it's bounded by these three things, right? It's only that area. And you're going to rotate that area, right, about this line. So look, see this empty hole here? See this empty hole? There's going to be an empty hole on the opposite side too, right? So there's a, up to -2, there's nothing. And then from -2 to -3, there's going to be a reflection of the root function. So it's going to look like this. It's a big tub with a hole in it. Okay? So look, I'm going to draw a circle in the middle here. Okay? So do you see, if you look at, I don't know if you guys can see that, like, there's a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the center of rotation is this now, y is equal to -1, not at the x-axis or the y-axis. So the approach is the same. Volume is integration from 0 to 1, pi, disk as a function of x, right, which is, I'm going to write this time here, pi, radius as a function of x squared, okay? But here's what I'm going to do. There's two radius that we need to consider. Okay, there's this radius, right, which will generate the entire tub. But then there's a whole radius that we need to subtract. Okay, so I'm going to call this one R1. I'm going to call this one R2. Okay, because what we're going to have to do is this. Pi R1 squared, right, minus pi R2 squared. Okay, that's how you will take off the, make that hole in the middle as a function of x. Okay, so actually, you know, I wrote it like that on purpose, but this equation can be simplified like this: pi just R1 squared minus R2 squared. You don't need to write it like that. Okay. So R1, it's a distance, okay? It's a distance from here to here. Okay, it's a distance. If I just say y of the root function, so here's the y, okay? Is y represent the height? No. So what would represent the height? You need to add one more, right? Add 1 plus y. That's the full height to generate the outside volume. So R1 is 1 plus y squared. And R2 is just always 1. So minus 1 squared, which is just 1. Okay, we're very close now. The only thing we have to do is replace that y with the function, which is root of x. Okay, we're ready now to find the volume. So integration from 0 to 1, 1 plus 2 root of x plus x minus 1. That cancels out, right? So you get 2 root of x plus x. So 0 to 1. That's gonna be if you integrate that, we're gonna get 2 times 2 over 3 x to the power of 3 over 2, and we're gonna get half of x squared. We need to plug in 1 and 0. So if you plug in 1, that's all you need to plug in, right? You get 4 over 3 plus half. What does that give you? 8 plus 3 over 6. 11 pi over 6 unit cubed.